I wish I had something like this when I was younger. A clear definition of lust and love and why they're so almost interchangeable, even though they're completely different. Opposite sides of the same coin, I'd be willing to say. So if you feel like you're struggling with lust or love, then I really recommend watching this, especially if you're younger, because this is something I needed to hear when I was younger. But let's get right into it. What is lust and why is it ruining your life? Well, first of all, lust hijacks you. It convinces you that it's okay and it tells you that you're normal. The truth is, though, where does it originate? Well, it originates from this desire to be loved. So, off the bat, love and lust aren't the same because lust is like an intimidation of love trying to fulfill an ever expanding void. Well, why is it expanding? Well, let's give a scenario. You want to be loved. So, what do you discover? You discover pornography or lusting, especially as a young kid. I mean, I really discovered that when I was 12 years old. 12 years old. I have no power over that. It completely hijacked my mind. So 12-year-old young Nolan watching this stuff that he really shouldn't be. Well, it convinces him that not only it's okay, but it convinces him that that is what love looks like. That's what you grow up to and that's what you learn to love. The truth is though, when you're done, you have shame. So that little void of the lack of love in your heart, it doesn't get filled, it expands. So what do? You fill again and again and again and again. So this is problematic as now you're filling yourself with what you think is love, but truly, it's this self-destroying lust that just keeps on destroying you. So a habit that has existed for a couple days turns into months, which turns into years, which turns into, unfortunately, a lifetime. Now expand this over every man who's ever lived. And all of a sudden, it's not just pornography, but it's the way he treats his woman. It's the way he treats his family. It's the way he treats himself. It's the safety that doesn't exist between him and his partner because there's a bit of uncertainty there. It's this hate that he has towards himself. And it's this shame that he has feeling. Love is dangerous. It destroys you. And it tells you that you need something that you really don't. Love is beautiful, and it's okay to desire love, but you certainly won't fill that void with lust, and it will destroy you. Now, why is it that lust likes to stick with you? Why is it so hard to get rid of it? Well, it's a habit, right? And not only it's a habit, it's an addiction. And I'm tired of people pretending like it's not. I mean, you get more dopamine, supposedly, from lusting to pornography than you do from smoking crack. And you start this at what, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old as a little boy? Like, this is dangerous. You're getting basically hooked on crack since you're a little kid, and it messes up your mind, right? So not only it's a danger to you because it's a bad habit, but it is a habit. So how do you get out of a habit? And I've learned from reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, a habit that you're used to is like this giant olive tree that you have planted and rooted into you. So like imagine how hard it is to uproot a giant olive tree or like a giant oak tree. Probably pretty difficult, especially compared to seeding a new habit, which you're putting in tiny little seeds. Those are easy to stir up in Dago, as opposed to like this giant tree that's been rooted in your mind, right? A mind that has been rooted for years. So lust is destroying you, and most of the time we don't even realize it. And additionally, it's hard to get rid of. It's challenging, right? But I want to really tell you the difference between love and lust. So let's go from the woman's perspective. What does lust look like to a woman? After all, if we want to be loved, you probably want to be loved from a lady, right? No less if you're a man, that makes total sense. So what does lust look like to her? Well, it looks like pressure, desperation. I mean, from her perspective, when a man lusts for her, she has to do something she's not comfortable with doing. So that's already making her uneasy. And it's dangerous to make a woman feel uneasy because she naturally comes to safety. So if safety is her father or God or you, well, then she's going to come to it. But if she doesn't feel safe with you, she won't naturally go to you. It's like a sixth sense. I'm serious. And when she doesn't feel safe with you, she's not going to see repetition with you. She's not going to see patterns. She's not going to see predictability. So she can't foresee a future with you. Nonetheless, you look desperate, right? Even if you're not trying to be, you just look like it. You just naturally exude this off of you, and you now have an emotional instability. If you think that's what love looks like, and you don't feel like you're getting it, you're not going to feel loved. Think about that. When you see lust as love and you see them as interchangeable when they're not, you're not going to feel loved when your partner doesn't have sex with you or doesn't have intimacy with you. And that's a problem. Not only it shows your partner that she's only loved when she has intimacy with you, but it shows that you only get love when you have intimacy. So that means you're chasing this tiny portion of a relationship. If you look at a relationship like a pyramid, where you need to set a huge foundation, like a huge foundation, and then like the pyramids in Egypt at one point, you have this little golden top, right? That's like 99.99999% of the pyramid is this foundation, and this tiny, tiny, tiny little golden top. When you're chasing that golden top, not only it makes everything else completely useless, Not only it means you're building this crappy foundation that's probably like a pole instead of a pyramid, but it means that when you're with her, you can't love everything else. You don't love the hand holding. You don't love looking into her eyes. You don't love appreciating her. You don't love appreciating her family. You don't love running around with her. You don't love sitting with her. You don't love thinking about her, right? You're taking all this beauty away because you're struggling to understand what love really looks like. And imagine how that makes her feel. Not only makes her feel horrible, and you don't even realize it, and she probably doesn't even realize it either because it's so normalized nowadays, but there's no realizing it. There's no seeing it. You can't tell. It's so natural because you just are used to it that you can't grow, right? This is what I struggled with. I didn't realize when I was lusting, and I couldn't grow out of it because I didn't notice. So that's why I wish I had a video like this to see when I was younger, so I could have just pointed it out and just beat it into me and just saying, Nolan, look at this. Look how you're making her feel and you don't even know it, right? Women relax when they feel seen, when they're in a moment. They'll do anything for a moment. That's why they shut you down when you want to elevate the moment, but they're comfortable with where they are, right? Love makes women trust her presence. But when love is only this tiny bit of the pyramid, how is she supposed to trust you everywhere else? So here's the difference between lust and masculine love. Lust is impulsive. It's a selfish desire. Think about it. Lust is purely this idea that you want to be loved. It's innately selfish. Now, wanting to be loved isn't bad, but how are we going to work around this desire? Are we going to build good habits like being stronger and smarter, more spiritual, right? Having a better relationship with God. Those are good habits that make you more desirable to be loved, right? Or are we going to build bad habits like lusting? Lusting's a bad habit that's based around the same innocent desire of just wanting to be loved. But it's selfish, right? Because we go from wanting to work for someone, wanting to sacrifice for someone. Screw dying for your woman. Are you going to live for her, right? We go from wanting to live and die for our partner, as Christ does for the church, to lusting just unfathomably in a very unhealthy way, right? You want sex, you crave it. And I mean, it's fair to want those things as a man, but when you lust and all your dopamine receptors and your serotonin receptors pop off in your mind and your brain explodes like you really are doing it when you're just masturbating, that ruins your mind. And it makes it not only all the little things when you're sitting and chilling out with your partner and she can pick it up, but it ruins all the big things too. I mean, think about it. You can't grow as a man when you're stuck chasing this tiny little thing, and you can't appreciate anything. Appreciation is the best thing that I can provide for a woman. The fact that I can appreciate her beauty, her family, her care, her love, everything. And even my appreciation for myself too. I can appreciate working harder. I can appreciate my own appreciation. And then boom, infinite appreciation glitch. Like, that sounds awesome, does it not? But when you're so focused on lust, not only it removes your ability to desire love in a very healthy way, but it makes it so you're unable to appreciate things because you're blinded, you're clouded. And it just sucks. Like, there's no going about it. It just sucks. So while you're too busy being impulsive and selfish and unstable and you're chaotic and you're needy, which don't sound too bad on their own, but when you see them in a life repetitively, I mean, obviously, a woman's not going to see you going in the right direction. But all while you're doing this, there's a good man who's disciplined, right? Yes, he struggles with lust, but he runs away from it. He goes to God with it. He talks to his partner about it. He sets up healthy communication, boundaries, or even goals to achieve, right? Why feel shameful for lusting when you can marry and have sex all you want and all of a sudden the shame is gone, right? There's no more lust. You're not shameful for it. It's love. That's real love. When you wait for marriage or when you wait and you do all these beautiful things together because you waited, all of a sudden that shame for lust, this selfish desire becomes this love because you care for each other. You care for each other. And it's good to care for each other. It's good to be intimate with each other. But you got to build that pyramid, and you'll only know when you get there, right? So don't chase something. Don't build a pole. Build a pyramid, right? Well, the lustful man is doing all these wrong things. The masculine man is steady. He's protected. He's grounded, right? He's protective of his partner. He's grounding his partner. When she's uncontrolled, he's controlling. Not controlling because he's authoritative, but because she can trust his authority as a strong leading man. And this takes time. And that's the thing. Lust makes us so eager. We're eager to have sex. We're eager to love each other. We're eager to do all these things. But love tells us to be patient. But not only patience because patience sucks, but patience because it's a good thing. Imagine how appreciative you are when you wait for your partner, when you care for your partner, or when you're not at the speed, or when she's not at the speed, or whatever it is. When you are patient for each other, you enjoy the moment. Think about it. Imagine you're building a pyramid brick by brick, right? Just imagine you're some Egyptian pharaoh and you're building this giant pyramid brick by brick and you want the top to be gold. If you were chasing this golden top, do you think you would ever build the pyramid? And do you think the pyramid would actually be steady? No. So imagine as a man. Just imagine the feeling. Pause this moment, imagine the feeling. Close your eyes and imagine the feeling. Imagine each brick you built in this pyramid, this hypothetical pyramid we're building. Imagine each brick you placed was just as valuable and just as appreciative as that golden top, right? You can open your eyes now if you're closing your eyes or whatever, but just imagine that. Imagine each little brick you put down was just as valuable and just as special as that big brick, right? Running around, holding hands, laughing, meeting family members. Just as special is the most intimate thing you could imagine in a relationship. That's what love looks like. Even says in the Bible, love doesn't worry. Love is kind. Love is patient, right? If you're worrying, that's not love, right? Love can get put in a washing machine and beat up and battered and thrown around, and it'll come out perfect. Not perfect because it's without flaws, but perfect because it takes accountability. That's love, right? And people like to think, oh, it's okay to lust in a relationship because it's a good lust. No, no, no. There's no such thing as a good lust. Lust doesn't exist in a good form. You're being blinded, right? There's no such thing as a good lust because lust is inherently selfish. It's inherently bad. It's inherently taking a good and beautiful desire, which is love, and it's twisting it to fulfill your own desires. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy that involves expanding this hole within us with shame. So if you want to be loved, you got to work on building habits around that are healthy. And it's hard. Believe me, it's hard. You got to take this giant oak tree out of you and plant a bunch of little mustard seeds. It's hard. But the more you can work on it and the more you can learn to hate sin and hate lust, the better and more well-equipped you'll be to becoming a good man. And this isn't something you do overnight. It's something you spend months working on. It's something I still struggle with. I mean, hell, 5 years of struggling with lust and I'm still struggling with it. But I'm overcoming and I'm learning. And each day that I learn to hate it is a day I learn to love being better. And it's a day I build my better habits. So build responsibility for your partner. If this is something you struggle with, control your eyes, right? If you struggle with lusting for others, hell, just lust for one person. Maybe that's a partner, right? And then you'll learn to hate lust and you'll learn to love, right? I'm so grateful for the opportunity I had to have a beautiful relationship with someone. I learned a lot and I learned that I made a lot of mistakes, but it was in those mistakes that I learned that I needed to improve. And now with my own reflection, I'm improving. So learn to do whatever you can to just be a better man. 1%, one time, one day at a time. Right? It doesn't have to be this big battle, but it can be this little shift in your identity, right? Telling yourself that you want to be better, building a responsibility for the person you love. Anyways, though, if there's anything you can take away from this video, it's that love is not the same as lust. Lust is this ego you have for yourself. It's this self-fulfilling prophecy that you feel like you deserve. But the truth is, love is sacrificial. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is beautiful. Love is so much more than I can describe. And it's not some sort of feeling. It's this otherworldliness that you have for someone. Love is amazing, and it is certainly not lust. And I wish I learned this when I was younger. So if you're a younger man or even a man around my age, I'm about to be 19 just for context, or if you're even older than me, then that's fine. We're all on our own journey. It's all God's timing at the end of the day. But if you really want to hone in on this, if you're struggling with lust or you're struggling with love and you really want to hone in and have someone beat it into you and tell you, this is the difference between it and this is how you can work towards it, then feel free to give me a call, reach out. I want to build up a community of tightly knit young men who all agree upon these things, and even women too, right? Young ladies who can appreciate these things and appreciate these values that I want to bring. I really want to make the world a better place. And you know what? That can start with just having a couple of calls, you and I, and just discussing these things. Nonetheless, if you're not interested in that, then I'd appreciate a like or a subscription or sharing the video, because I mean, that helps a lot. I put a lot of effort into this stuff and I really want to learn. And at the end of the day, all this learning comes from God and it comes from myself. What I've learned, what I've reflected from, and what I want to teach a younger Nolan. So if you look like you're a younger Nolan who just wants to learn and you're eager to be better, then let me help you out. Anyways, I love you, but God loves you more, and I will see you tomorrow.